All right, and welcome again to another episode of the podcast no one will listen to. Remember, this isn't a podcast no one will listen to. It's the podcast no one will listen to.
So stop listening, you freaks!
Well, it's that time of year again. It's our RWBY Mid Season discussion.
I'd kill you.
Okay, stop threatening the people who aren't listening. Okay?
They'll never know.
Yeah.
Because they don't exist.
Exactly.
It's being polite. It's about
Polite
being
to who?
polite.
Nobody should be listening.
It's about common decency. For yourself. If not for me, for yourself.
What's that?
In any case, at the recording of this episode, only Volume 5, Episode 8 is released, where we see some shit. And I just gotta say, before we actually get into the discussion of this episode and just the mid-season, what are your guys' takes? Because last time we kind of set some expectations for Volume 5, and, now that half the seasons or so has gone by, what do you guys think?
I guess I'll start.
You can start by getting off your phone. Breaking the immersion.
No. Must go deeper. Become one with the porn I observe.
Oh, God damn it, you.
Deeper down the rabbit hole.
Deeper. So deep. Anyway, I think going so far, I think they're building towards a lot, and they're kind of like, I think what they've done is they've taken all the season 4 questions we had, kind of, and used this season to just answer everything as much as they can.
Are you sure it's not really just all the criticisms that Volume 4
Yeah,
has
it's
gotten?
really like all the
I think that's a nice way of saying it.
They're really just trying to answer they're trying to answer back to all that. And while that's good, it kind of sets up the second half for, okay, now you have to pretty much do a story. You have to.
We're done with exposition.
You've done 8 episodes of exposition.
Well, the thing I find the most interesting about Volume 5 is that it feels like, because the first 3 seasons you could just say is like some sort of almost plotless, really. Like you just had some vague things might happen soon, but for the most part it was just an episodic here's what we're doing in Monster School, basically.
Yeah.
That was the first...
3 was...
Well, the first 2 seasons, for sure.
First 2 were kind of just to set you up, get you to like the characters, and...
Well, that's because they didn't have a lot to go on. They had probably a shoestring budget, and the episodes were probably 5-6 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, they were short.
You could
finish
finish
all
the first...
of season 1 in an hour.
I'd say even less than an hour, probably. Yeah. But more to the point, I think Volume 5 is the first actual arc of RWBY, where I'm finally okay, so this is where you're actually getting plot development, character development, story. Finally, after this mahulsma kind of thing.
I don't agree with that. I think this is they're really spoon feeding the audience right now.
Not really.
Because you want to talk about character development. Season 1, we got an idea of character development with with any of them. Name a character and I can tell you how they showed some development.
Well, I'm not saying that as in now, as in they haven't previously, but I feel like when I said previously that the first 3 seasons were kind of just this baseless, almost plotless kind of here's what we're doing. Here's the characters, were established.
I would
the
say
motivations were
that, but I would say that you've gone from season 1 through 3 where character development was kind of
You okay there, Eric?
Eric, you died?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right.
Oh, he's just trying to keep the cough off the air.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Breaking the immersion.
I think you've gone from 1 through 3 where it's it's subtle.
Subtle.
All right,
subtle.
It should be pronounced subtil. But we don't. Yeah, but we don't. Fuck the English
because
language.
It's subtle. All right.
I would say you've gone from a subtle character development to where you now have
a scuttle.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of they're really see how
season
Yang has changed.
Well, season 1's characterization was not exactly the most layered. It was very straightforward.
I like that.
Weiss, I'm the bitch. That's my character.
She was, but she was like...
I'm RWBY. I'm the worst protagonist to ever be put on the screen.
Season 1 RWBY
I'm Yang.
Was some
tits.
Yeah.
I'm Blake. Hear me brood. Okay.
But I mean,
That's the character.
I like that, where it's like you kind
show.
of you have to build it in your head. Whereas like here we're like, oh.
Well, what do you? Okay. Well, spoon-fed is not. I feel like you don't exactly know what that means. Spoon-fed.
I know what it means.
When the mommy takes the spoon and feeds it to the baby.
Okay. Well, the thing is, it's
there
like
you go.
when you see these characters interact, and you see a character come to a realization.
They're in Iraq now.
I said interact.
No,
he has a rack.
Ah, for God's sakes. When two characters interact, really? you of all people are telling me to go to the gym.
I'm telling you to go to the gym.
Okay.
Quit this podcast and we're all going to the gym.
Moving on.
We are going to get healthy, damn it.
We're moving on.
So, because I'm kind of confused on why you think it's spoon-fed if you just see two characters on screen having a meaningful dialogue like we saw in episode 8, and they're coming to these realizations. But that's what I mean.
It's like the dialogues are very, like, the dialogues are being used to, like, I guess what I'm saying is they've moved from, like, where we see actions as developing the characters to now we're seeing their words are showing them as developing.
Well, right. I mean, you can't have... I
guess that's what my point was. And my point is, you've gone from season 1 through 3 where it was like, we saw how the characters acted, we saw how their actions reflected who they are as characters, and I think now we're seeing where it's moving away from action to now they're talking.
Okay, well, it's not simply just talking; it's dialogue.
Well. We're seeing more character development with dialogue than we are with visuals.
Talking is Ren asking, "How would you like your sake?" Dialogue is, "Hey, I know it's kind of fucked up that Blake left us, but it's not exactly her fault completely, and I think you should understand that." That's dialogue, not talking.
It also kind of shows
in writer's world. Is there a distinct difference between talking and dialogue?
Last I checked,
I mean, it's not
sound like the same thing.
I thought everything was categorized as dialogue.
I thought everything
or
that was talking was dialogue. Yeah,
it's not. Okay.
Like dialogue is two people talking, and monologue is one.
That's not entirely true. That's not entirely.
Quintuplog.
Moving on, because
sextologue.
All right, but what I'm saying is you can't. I mean, the context has changed here. You don't have instances and scenarios where there's giant Grimm, attacking or organized gangs attacking every episode, and you don't have battles happening every single episode like you did in the first 3 seasons. Yeah. I mean, season 3 was straight up just a tournament arc, where it was everything. You gonna contribute anything? Or are you just gonna keep doing the same things that I'm doing? Breaking the immersion.
These are not the drugs you're looking for.
So I'd like to put that question to you. It's just like, why you think, like, do you think that's a bad thing that it's becoming dialogue, like they're trying out dialogue instead of the cringy just
like I said,
talk or something?
It's one of the second half has to answer. Like,
they're clearly building up to something.
Exactly. It's like, is the payoff gonna match? And that's where I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know.
Well, look at the fall of Beacon, and look how well they kind of did.
See, and that's what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen, is we're going to have a similar fall.
Right.
And I don't know.
You think that Mistral's going to fall?
I think Mistral's probably going to fall.
I wouldn't put it past him. However, I don't think it's going to be like the complete and utter wash that it was. Like, I think that, yes, the actual city might fall, but they might actually, accomplish something against.
Pull a little victory.
Pull a small victory instead of everyone just dying and everyone just being sad about it.
I could see that, but I think it's going to be very similar to the fall of Beast. Like, it's not like they may pull a small victory, but it's not going to be comparable to what huge loss is going to happen.
Well, right. We've already seen some death flags waving for a few characters.
Oh yeah,
like Bagheera.
Oh, Daddy Gira.
Oh my god,
that's how you take care of business.
Officially,
that
my
gets rid of that
husbando.
pesky father-in-law. Now Bella's all mine.
His dying words. I'm calling it now. I still don't like
you.
Son's gonna have him in his eyes like,
Daddy, what did grandfather say when he married mommy? He said he didn't like me.
and then he died.
And guess what I'll say to your future boyfriend?
Yeah,
that's right. Son and Blake have a child, and he's gay.
Sure, why the hell not? Let's just go full ham on this.
I mean, it couldn't have been like.
I mean, it's going to come at a
'cause,
time
you know,
when the writers
or
clearly
something.
don't give a shit.
We do such a good job with our LGBT characters.
Yeah, I think that's that's not a good segue, but it is a segue into the topic that I feel a lot of people are talking about. The Ilya is gay for Blake. We knew, all right? That was something everybody kind of was like when I hear people are pissed off about that.
Her weapon's a penis.
Rick.
It's not wrong.
Stop making
Whips and
factual
chains.
statements like that.
Whips and chains do excite me on that one.
But anyway, it's like, okay, in a fandom where literally every female character is shipped with every other female character, when it's said in universe, you're pissed off.
Together.
Ship them all. Ship them together.
Yeah, ship.
So this is basically RWBY. Does everyone here agree that should be made? This is basically RWBY. Here you have Weeaboo, Bumblebee.
I think it's too.
They've shipped everyone.
Well, I think if Gel is going to do what this is basically and do it on RWBY, it's probably just going to be super obvious because the fandom's super obvious. You guys have shipped literally everybody with everybody else.
Ironwood with Sean.
Sure.
Ironwood with Crow.
Banshee Grimm with Beowulf Grimm. Go ahead.
Ironwood
knock yourself
with
out.
Beowulf Grimm.
Ozpin with Oscar even. Let's
Ironwood with female
one of the most
Beowulf Grimm.
underrated ships of all. Beowulf Grimm x Torchwick.
Yeah. Actually, no. It's the Grimm who killed him or ate him. X Torchwick.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
that's a wonderful gore story right there.
Oh, Vor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a trash tier
it's
fetish.
Like, now you're inside me, Torchwick. We can be together forever.
Until I take the next crap.
Yeah.
There.
Wait, then they could
Do Grimm even take craps?
I don't know.
They could operate like Titans and just vomit up their victims.
Which I think, but that's a whole other thing we should talk
but
about.
That's just a theory.
The point is, that seems like the most pedantic and retarded shit I've ever heard within a fandom. It's like, we ship everybody and everybody is gay with everybody else, but the minute they actually confirm that somebody is gay for somebody else, then we're pissed off. Then you did our job for us, Rooster Teeth, and we're mad.
I am like, going back, turning out that Ilya likes Blake, I'm just like...
We knew.
I mean,
I
didn't.
I was like, this is gonna be...
I'm gonna admit I wasn't paying attention well enough.
Did you see those hungry eyes?
Yeah, no. I'm like, it's like, oh, now it's like, oh, it was obvious there that it's pretty much I'm having a hindsight moment. I'm just gonna freely admit I had no idea.
I mean, that's not a super hard thing.
I'm gonna admit I didn't know.
Eric, did you have a feeling? More than a feeling, you could
say.
Than
a feeling? Are you hooked on this feeling?
This is news to me.
There's some old songs playing.
I didn't see the gay undertones here.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Actually, you know what? I was going to criticize and say Ilya being a gay character was a very, just poor choice, but you know what?
Why do you attractive one gay?
Hey, I didn't.
No.
I don't remember inviting the fan base into this podcast. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say making her gay was kind of like, oh, you're just kind of throwing it out there. But then I'm like, and it's like token gay character, and I'm like,
no.
They've actually done
in this
no. I'm like, they've actually done okay, this is what I like when you do here. My trouble whenever they do an LGBT character is it's so fucking obvious.
Like, well, this one, or at least
except in this instance, and this is like.
I guess I'm the only one who knew it. Maybe so maybe it wasn't so common. If I'm the only one in this podcast,
I think it was. I think my thing was. I assumed they were like, oh, really good best friends.
And see, that's where I took it, and because I knew it was RWBY, and because I knew it was a Rouge of Teeth, it's like,
and they kept hinting.
So this is going to be the gay
probably
character.
It right here.
Two very close friends. Yeah, they're going to be. See, I know. I try not to, and I know that that's the stereotype, and I know. And I knew because it was a stereotype, Rouge of Teeth was going to do it. They did it with the.
I didn't think of it.
I mean, just think about Pyrrha and John. Anybody who's close friends at all, ship them.
No,
Ren and Nora.
The thing with Pyrrha and John was that was like a Ross and Rachel situation. Like,
oh come on,
you knew they were like Pyrrha and John. It was obvious from the beginning. It was just
right,
like,
yeah.
Everyone was just like, just let it happen already.
Just do it.
Exactly. Just have them do it already.
Okay,
this one,
they'll do it, but then she'll die.
I know, and it was like, oh, like way to like blue ball us Rooster Teeth.
I don't know. Yeah. But Ren and Nora, same thing.
Ren and Nora, I will give credit to. That one is
Blake is getting all the action here because it's like it's Adam, then now Ilya, Yang. She's getting she's getting it all, man. And Sun. Blake is the player of. Is the player?
See,
she has got game.
Okay, I'm gonna put this. Ilya, I'm okay with. This is what I've been looking for when they do an LGBT character. Just be subtle.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Fucking A.
Just be subtitles.
Just be subtitles.
So when Ilya comes on screen, LGBT intensifies is what you want, basically.
This is what I want. But what I mean is like just like think about all the like gay characters we have in
after seeing it
on TV shows. It's like
I just don't want it to be a stereotype. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. She's not like that.
Right.
Like she's not a butch lesbian. Like, you know,
she does happy
like
if she was.
Like she's not that like stereotype. She's not the like dainty butterfly stereotype.
She just wears those nice, what do you even call those? Half jumpsuit things?
It's a jumper.
A jumper?
Or
a romper?
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm learning a whole lot now.
Dude, look at like
because I was just
going
male
rompers. They're called rompers. You're right.
I'll do it later.
It's a real thing.
I'm not saying you're lying. I just was literally like jumper, romper, rooper. Just making up words that goes on. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's actual things. Like
the romper's an actual thing.
Zoomper?
No.
Okay, well now Zoompers are going to be.
But and then here's my thing: if they were to make Yang gay,
I'd love her no matter what because Yang is best girl.
I see that, but that one I made it. Yeah.
Well, it seems
if they were to make
like
Yang gay, it would be okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I think they've kind of established that she probably won't be because the discussion that they had really hinted. It's like I don't miss Blake because I'm in love with her. I miss her because I have abandonment issues. And I really just fucking hate it when I'm left hanging, man. That was basically her thing.
But that was kind of the same thing we had with Ilya. It was kind of like set up for, it's a friend who's been jilted, when in reality it's someone who...
Well, it seems like we've seen that it's a history with Yang, so it would make sense if it was the abandonment issues.
Yeah, but I think it could be like a larger...
All right. I'm not discrediting the possibility because obviously I kind of want that, but it would make sense if it's less like, it's just the abandonment issues. I'd take it.
It could go both ways.
The development of pretty much everyone else in the season has been kind of lackluster, which actually we've seen Weiss kind of come in her own sense of like,
I want no more Nora.
No, yeah,
I'm sick of Nora. Fucking sick of Nora.
I guess we can talk about Nora and how
this is news to me that you have a distaste of Nora all of a sudden.
Well, Eric, what's have you noticed? Because it seems like they're just trying to make her. And first it was like playfully like childish, but now they just made it so that she's just
like
the most irritating sounding character.
I see no difference between season 5 Nora and RWBY Chibi Nora. I mean, that's why I'm Earth.
Well, they're kind of in essence, the same.
I know they're in essence the same character, but they're
voiced by the same. They're
the same character except one's tinier. My trouble with it is it's like this. It's out of context.
Like there's just too much fourth wall breaking and too much.
This is too like you're overusing her.
Like I think it was like in the last episode, the episode previous when it was like they were talking about the magic, how Crow and Raven can become birds, and then Nora was just like, "Oh, Crow, Raven, those are bird names." I'm just like, and I'm just sitting in my head, just like, "Yes, Nora, yes, they're bird names."
And it's like, see, that would be okay if they hadn't had 3 other jokes that were all Nora.
Yeah, they had it in the season 5 opener where it was just her just being an obnoxious little twat about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it's like, Nora, you're after my heart for being the most annoying character in RWBY.
Yeah.
And RWBY's winning so far, but you're coming up close behind.
It's like, I would put her ahead of RWBY right now.
It's just because you remember the most. RWBY's been consistently bad in very different ways. Whereas Nora
should be RWBY.
Well, that's because it's in her element. It's a wacky comedy show where nothing matters, so they put a character in that doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I do like Chibi RWBY because in that
you're just saying that because you like the memes.
No, I do I do find the Chibi version, like the Chibi RWBY character, hilarious, but I don't like RWBY in season 5.
Hold on, would you say something, Eric?
I don't like to call RWBY by RWBY anymore. I like to call her Weeaboo Archetype.
Weeaboo Archetype, yeah.
Weeb.
What about that fight with Sun? Did you enjoy that? When he comes in
does the drop kick and
yeah.
It's a nice little scuffle.
He's shonen.
He is.
You have Shoujo and Shonen.
Monkey D. Sun.
Monkey D. Sun.
King of the Pirates. Back to Weiss, though, I am actually surprised that they've made her
character
a little more self-sufficient. It kind of makes her it doesn't excuse Volume 4 because it seems like Volume 4, her arc wasn't bad. It was just shit we've kind of seen before and are now just visualizing it all. Really,
you know what I like about Weiss is I like Weiss's character development because Weiss's character development we're seeing with actions.
It's
like when she's. Here, I like action. Actions speak louder than words to me.
I mean, well, that's technically true.
I like action.
You need both to
you
have
do
a
need
character.
Both, but I like seeing actions more. So, and what I mean is like with Weiss, we see it when she's with the pilot.
Yeah,
we see it when she's in the bandit camp. We see it and then we see it with
this latest
episode where she makes the effort to go sit, talk, and create a different perspective.
The only possible criticism I probably would have is that I feel like her semblance mastery is a little too like. Because it was because the first she's been struggling this whole time to summon this, and now it's like just like that, I got it down. And it's like the mini versions of it. It's like I appreciate the utility, but I feel it's like so. What are the rules here? Because I thought it was you defeat your enemy and then you summon them. So if you defeat a giant knight, you summon a giant knight, not a little mini knight.
She's defeated many knights.
she squishes it at the end of the white trailer. And they just didn't see that part.
He probably didn't. None of us did. None of us saw it coming.
But it's not a huge one. It's just a little. I'd almost say it's a.
I'd say it's permissible.
Like it's obviously not ruining my enjoyment of it. I'm just a little like.
Not at all. I think it's definitely one of those like when you first learn to ride a bike, but then every time after, it's like...
And then I'm just going to
You're not starting new. You're like, you already know where you reach the point, and you're like, oh, so this is how I can go again. And it's like...
Well, right, but then it's like... But at this point, it's like, okay, I learned to ride a bike, now to go BMX racing.
And that's the thing. I think it's like, it's very much that. But it's not like... Because I think we've seen, like, initial steps.
Well, yeah, she summons the arm, and then she, like, summons the sword.
She kind of first pulls off the full...
Then the dick.
Like, she does it in steps, and then it's like we see she still hasn't had full mastery, like, when she accidentally summons the boar.
Right, right.
Admit it, that's a fan fiction idea. Like, summoning the dick, and it's like, yo, yes, knight. Right, the knight.
Look, just request Shadman to make it. He'll probably make it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's for
I don't know who that is.
Did we cover the just Team RWBY as far as, like...
Blake's character development.
Oh, yeah, Blake. I kind of in the similar vein of Weiss, where it's like, she's kind of learning to kind of do shit for herself a little bit.
She's growing, but she's not growing quickly.
Well, hers is very, like, physical, you know? It's like, I gotta stop these radical terrorists from destroying my home.
I'm not gonna knock Blake's. Blake's
hers is kind of a little bigger than...
RWBY's is still non-existent.
RWBY sucks. That's all I'm gonna say on the subject.
RWBY's is still non-existent.
3 out of 4 is not bad, though. That's still a 75%. That's good.
Nora is just annoying the fuck out of me.
Just... Maybe Ren
Rooster Teeth just kind of pull back a little bit.
Ren can just kind of punch her in the throat for an episode.
Ren's another...
Ren's just
character development non-existent, but...
It never was, really.
He doesn't really need to be developed.
Oh, yeah,
that's just there.
It's just a more failing of season 4. Just like, non-existent character arc. Boop! Big old spike at the end, and then back to normal. Now we're not hearing a damn thing.
I look at Ren. I'm like, Ren just is like, it's Monty just sitting and watching.
Yeah,
that's all Ren is.
And then when he speaks, it's like he's quoting from "I'm 14 and this is deep."
Yeah, I'm 14 and this is deep.
Yep. And then John.
John, I'm pissed because
he did enough in season 4.
They're not.
I want to see more Pura.
No, we're never going to get that for a while.
Look, with all the shit that's going on,
I'm mad because they are dropping the ball with John. Like, John, you could get into some deep, deep shit. Like, development-wise. Like, I mean, you could have a moment where John just straight up goes at Ozpin.
I feel like that.
Like, you could have one where, like, John just calls out Ozpin.
I feel like we've kind of missed that opportunity, though.
Exactly, and that's what I mean where they've dropped the ball. Like,
don't you think that that'd be kind of pulling focus a little bit? Like maybe not an outburst in front of everybody. Like, maybe just...
I think you could have one where it's like they're one-on-one and you could see them grow up. Like, you could do it both ways. You could have had when they were in the group... Like, you could have had John finally just snap and go
at him. If we were to have a moment like that, I'd prefer it to be one-on-one. I feel like John has enough composure to not just make a scene in front of everybody.
And that's what I'm like, that's kind of what I'm disappointed in, because there's a lot of raw emotion that could have justified a scene like that. I mean, even though I know John, like, we've seen where John is kind of the more composed leader, but in an instance where you realize, hey, this is pretty much the guy who was responsible for a lot of terrible things happening.
Well, right, but also the thing is that Ozpin, in his, like, expositional monologue, didn't really do anything to essentially trigger... Like, if he had said something about, like, acceptable losses, or these are kind of the things I need to do in order to fight the good fight, or something, like, something insinuating that he doesn't quite grasp the sacrifices that people have made to kind of further his cause, which would be a little weird for me because I feel like Ozpin, with his age, powers, and all that...
That was a point I won. Like, yeah, Ozpin did fail. Back
the
in
long con.
Yeah, the long con.
He's doing the long... So technically, he hasn't failed. He's just doing the long con.
He's just doing the long con.
The long con,
No,
baby.
I voted that he was... Anyway, we're getting...
But I feel like he's a little bit... He's definitely smart enough to know it's like, look, I fucked up a little bit. I'm not exactly going to say that these were acceptable losses or do anything to essentially insinuate or devalue the efforts that people have made. He's not that much of a dick.
Which is good, but I still feel it was like you could have... It was a moment that went and...
I feel like a rage moment for Jean would just be more for the Arcos fans and not for any actual like character development. Because it's like he's granted. I would have liked to see like his process of grief, but I think we're ready to
now.
Move
I
on,
wouldn't
really.
want to. Now I wouldn't want to see it because it's already too little, too late.
I was gonna say I think we're about ready to move on that whole front of Look,
I think what I'd like to see is like what you said, the one-on-one. Maybe when they're training semblances,
right?
Him and like
now, I would.
That's
like
something
to,
I want. I want to see more one-on-one training with Ozpin. And
I'd like some training montages would be pretty.
Yeah,
would be pretty nice if they had some.
That would be a good character development moment.
In the line of events, seeing as like, okay, well, the way I see it going is like, of course, we're going to have the big, Belladonna mansion fight.
Oh God,
where Husbando Bagheera
live.
Oh, he's gonna.
I want him to live so bad.
I am loving him to death, but I can already see the death tolls. So
that's how Daddy takes care of business. Risky business.
So that's gonna take up a whole episode or two.
Oh, I hope that's 9. I hope 9. I hope we don't have to wait for that one. Yeah, that one just looks so good.
As far as everything else is concerned, we could probably we probably are going to get a training montage if they're preparing. Crow's probably going to try and look for his drinking buddies. Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, he already done that.
I mean, like, try better this time. Shit, we totally forgot about the bandit camp.
Oh yeah, the end where
the Oogie Boogie crew comes and tries to fuck shit up. Gotta say, if either one of them is resolved by the end of episode 9, the Belladonna or the bandit, I'd be like, this is good. I wouldn't complain.
I feel like that might be a drop in the ball moment to like do the bandit camp and then you don't. Like I said, they're setting up for a lot, and now they need to answer with this second half.
Well, right. I feel like, because the episode previous to that, or wait, was it the same episode where Adam finally was just like, with this...
Yeah, the whiny bullshit.
The whiny bullshit of just like, you Belladonna, you pray, and then
you bring your girlfriend to me, alive!
I would have loved it to death if one of the two like priests was just like, it was like one of them just like, he seems off, and then one of them just like, oh my God, you're so whiny. Just like in the confidence of their own.
How do we follow this idiot?
He's getting results, man. Okay, he's just getting results.
Just one of them's just like flustered, like
I know. Just apologize. Just like I know. And that's, I guess, like they're gonna
bullshit.
Yeah, I know they're gonna roll with it now that they've kind of done that all the way back in season 3. They can't like hard change it now, but
Adam's just like
he's such a bitch. I almost hate that he's so powerful.
I know, it was like you set him up as like
this intimidating
sociopath,
but he's just such a
he's just a whiny, and it's like you watch and you're like, how can this whiny teenager just
kill people so effortlessly?
Yeah.
I would have. It is what it is. It's not like. I mean, because like.
I think I'll put that down. That was a ruining moment.
I'll justify it. I'll justify it if they're kind of doing like the whole just extremely unlikable character, kind of just like let's just because this guy's just supposed to represent everything that we're.
Well, he's supposed to represent the Beast from.
I already did my fan theory on it. I don't need to repeat it.
Beauty and the Beast.
Well, clearly Bagheera is more Beast now.
Yeah, but Bagheera is supposed to be a panther.
Oh, he
in
is.
the jungle.
Yeah. In the sack.
That's a sexy man. Just drop the pretense. That's a sexy man.
I'd like him to unleash the beast.
That's going home to daddy, I tell you what.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Adam, kind of a cunt, a little bit of a whiny twat. We've known this since he's such a creeper in Volume 3.
Bad because in Volume 3 they did.
He's just so creepy.
It was like you set him up as a sociopath.
Well, in Volume 3, he was creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
In Volume 5, he's whiny as shit.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was going with, like, if he's supposed to represent the Beast, it would make sense that he has like pretty much straight up mood swings.
Yeah.
But
I still don't like him.
I still don't like it. I wish they would have kept with the sociopath.
I'll put this in a greater context.
That's what happened. Like, people complained about him being a sociopath.
Well, that's because
he's like, no, okay, we have to change his character, make him a whiny bitch.
Well, here's the thing. Like, in greater context, as far as like writing him, I'm fine with it. As like a viewer, I hate him. Because you're supposed to hate him.
Well, he's
so easy to hate.
It's just shitty. It's like,
because he's just the shittiest, whiniest piece of shit.
Well, it's like killing,
like Serena Khan.
Killing Serena, I was like, okay, that fits with the sociopath.
No, I'm saying like her as the villain is more of like that classical archetype of like, you know, she's a villain that can be reasoned with within, you know, degrees. Because she was kind of going on about how it's like, look, a full-on attack, that's bad.
That's stupid.
That's bad. And that's why she died. Would have loved to see her, but
I know, whatever. It's like we get all that set up only for a good character.
Bother modeling her, and we only see her for one episode.
And I think it's...
Yeah, that artist must be pissed.
I would say as far as like the mythos or like the mythology behind like the RWBY characters, I would just be disappointed in the fact that, you know, what's the rule?
I just realized something.
What?
What's the one thing Shere Khan fears in the Jungle Book?
Fire.
Man.
And fire.
And who kills?
The Beast.
The Beast.
No. Who kills Shere Khan?
Fire?
No. Okay, go on back. So, in the Jungle Book, Shere Khan's afraid of man and fire.
Yeah.
In RWBY, who killed Shere Khan? A man.
The Beast.
No. He's a faunus. That's not a human.
Yeah.
A male faunus.
That's...
Check your privilege, Austin.
But back to what I was saying about Shere Khan. The one rule in the jungle is everyone fears Shere Khan. Everyone runs from Shere Khan.
Except
Bagheera.
Baloo.
Except... No, actually,
no.
no.
Mowgli with some fire.
Actually, Bagheera does run. And only fights when it's, you know... It's like, dude, Mowgli's not running because he's a stupid shit. Okay, I'm going to have to try and...
Fuck.
And then Baloo does the same thing and is met with, you know, getting almost killed by Shere Khan.
Yeah.
So that's just my only complaint. It's like, okay, well, no one's really afraid of Serena Khan because she died.
Yeah.
Because, oh, man, but... yeah, that's a really, like... That's another nitpick I'd just say is like, so it's not really an inconsequential thing because...
Poor development artist.
That's the only thing I'd probably feel sorry for is the person who designed that because she had a really cool design.
She was good.
I would have loved...
That was impressive.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then she got a sword through the gut.
Unlike the Spring Maiden, I don't like...
Maybe Hazel thought the same thing. It's like, Oh, that development artist. No one needed to die tonight.
No one needed to die.
I kind of liked her.
Look, I really wanted to get with her, man. Did you have to do this?
I think we've talked
Hazel.
about this before, but I don't think on the pod. Have we talked about who's going to kill Adam on the podcast?
No, we've talked about that in person.
Just between us.
I think we have.
Yeah.
I think we have talked about like Salem probably.
Acting off.
No, I don't think we have actually.
No, we've talked about it just in person, but basically, the way I see it going down is that Adam is just going to be a little too big for his britches and try to kind of screw over Salem, and Salem, either through Hazel or herself, is going to kill Adam.
I'll put it through Hazel. I think Hazel will end up doing the dirty work.
I wanted to get with Serena.
Just
Come
wanna
on,
see it
just
strangle.
strangle.
Just like a rag doll.
No one needed to die that night. Eric, what are your thoughts?
I
This
thought
is why we can't have nice things.
I thought like he was gonna get too big for his britches and ask Salem for like, can I get a power up? And then like he turns into a Grim because he's like the beast.
Ooh, that would have been.
And then it ends up.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and then they have to end up putting him down.
I feel
Like Salem turns him into a,
Salem
beast.
turns him into a Grim, and then like Team
Yeah.
Ruby has to take him down or something.
or like
Yeah.
some sort of weird morph.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll give it.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Eric.
that's a good one.
I'll give you that. That's
I
impressive.
would like it, even though I'm kind of predicting that like Salem or Hazel is going to take him down. I would like to see the obvious route of like Team Ruby, like Blake or Yang, especially Yang to take him down.
Oh yeah,
You
revenge.
took my arm, bitch. I'm taking your life and also your balls.
Pinch your balls.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, castrate him.
Yeah.
Castration.
You're gonna get fixed, bitch.
I'll break yours.
I really want to be like. I realize Bagheera's at a huge disadvantage.
Because
He has just claws.
and rippling muscles.
Yeah, but the others have swords.
Technically, all the other people had swords,
Oh yeah,
and he just threw them around
and
like
he
nothing.
just beat the shit out of him. That's the
Just
best fight of season 5. Just seeing
Grab
Bagheera
leg, throw to a wall,
dead,
karate chop him in the neck.
dead. You're just looking as they come at him. It's like dead, punch, dead.
That's
And the last one, like you don't even have your name tag. Just fall on the ground.
just fall on the ground. Absolutely.
I'm gonna go bang my wife now. This really turns her on.
Yeah.
That's a father figure.
That's so. And I do think that whole thing's going to come down. Realistically, as much as we love Bagheera, he's probably going to die.
I think
I don't see Kali dying because that would just be.
I don't see.
She doesn't have any the power like Bagheera does.
I see
politically
those
speaking.
two kind of getting. I'll see it. I'll put it as they put up a good fight. They get to a point where they're about to be killed, and that's when we have Sun and Blake bop in.
I think they're going to bop in too late.
I think they'll make it just in time.
I think the only thing they're going to come to do is a burned down home.
I think they're gonna make it.
I think
I'm
they're
gonna.
going to make out.
I'm.
Just,
The fandom can hope.
Black Sun, balls in your court.
I think we're gonna see it as. I think they'll probably make it in time.
All right.
They have to.
Is there anything else about the first half of season 5 that you guys want to talk about, discuss? Who is best? Who is best season 5 so far?
Yay?
Crow's alcoholism.
Well, that's always been best.
Knows no bones.
You say yay?
Oh, I have to defend it now? Okay.
Well, I mean, wouldn't say
Shit, didn't know I had to do that.
didn't say defend. Just your reasoning.
Well, best character. I suppose since we had, like, I suppose most screen time. And we've got to see her like get back on her feet and meet up with Ruby. I guess.
Call her mom a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't see that coming.
I still liked it.
I'm gonna put my money on Weiss. I've enjoyed Weiss's character development. I think
that's the most interesting, because usually you're the first one to say that Weiss is just a bitch.
She is just a bitch.
Highest class, but full of sass.
Yeah, that's
Man,
nice.
he is on the ball today.
Usually isn't.
Yeah,
all right.
This is a first. Call out to first. Yeah, I'll put it as Weiss. Because in my reasoning is she's just kind of, when it comes to character development, she's the most well-rounded right now, I would say.
What? Not Ruby?
Well, I'll put, with the opportunities that have been shown, they've done consistently good work with her. I would say John, but it's like, again, I feel they've just dropped the ball. Like, they've had so many opportunities.
Oh, I mean, but he's had like all of season 4, basically. To really show the leadership, to kind of show
I know,
on his own,
like,
get his new weapon,
I
strategize on how to take on
he doesn't
Grim.
he doesn't have to be like center focused, but I feel like there's been a number of times in this season.
Just do a hard cut to, like, in the middle of like all this heartfelt moment, and he just hard cut to John. I'm still getting over the loss of my girlfriend. And then just goes back to Team Ruby.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's like there's been so many that you could have done at least one, and that's been just dropped throughout the entire season.
Okay.
So I guess Weiss close second would be John if they had actually done some good work.
Done some good work, as I feel is a little
if they
undeserved credit.
I'll put it this way: the opportunities that I'm seeing.
Well, they do have a whole half a
advantage
season. Maybe finally finding a semblance could be the focus of the training montage.
It's Resurrection. That's the other thing this season. There has been so much hinting that somebody's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm not going like, oh, it's going to be Pyrrha. I'm saying it's been heavily implied somebody's.
Are you just saying that because Raven has said that she's seen people come back to life?
Yes. I'm like, okay.
Come on, Torchwood.
Come on, Torchwood. Like, yeah, I'm like, it's very much it's very much an implication that I don't think we're going to have like a Dragon Ball Z level.
I was just going to say like
where it's like, you get off, oh, we just wish you back. I think it's going to be like, yeah, it happens, but it's like the circumstances have to be just right.
I think it's going to be, because isn't one of the relics supposed to be creation or something?
Possibly, yeah.
It's probably going to be the relic of creations. Like,
there you go.
Ooh, that would actually be like a really, that could be a potentially cool resurrection where it's like, no, like we'll just say, for example, it is Pyrrha. Instead of resurrecting Pyrrha, you just essentially create a new Pyrrha that's exactly the same as Pyrrha, but is not the original Pyrrha. You've created a new Pyrrha.
Like, I could see that being...
That'd be a good...
I told you.
That'd be an interesting way.
I told you resurrection isn't completely bullshit.
They probably won't do it, though.
I know, right? It's like, hey,
oh snap!
That would be a good one. Like, if they do it that way, that would be a good resurrection. But like I'm saying, it's like there's so much. It's very much like an out there hint that somebody's gonna come back. I feel like it might be Summer Rose.
It's gonna be the store owner from the dust shop.
No, it was Summer Rose in disguise the whole time. But I think we're probably going to see Summer Rose come back, maybe.
Ruby, I have to tell you something. Yes, Oscar? It was me, Summer Rose, your mother, the whole time in this little boy's body.
But
So wait, hold up. You made a persona of a little kid who was possessed by Ozpin, but was actually you...
Who was hitting on
me.
And we did that stuff. So much stuff.
Classic Summer Rose.
So, I don't know. It could be just, what are the implications of her even saying that? Because, I mean, technically, Ironwood might be somebody who was brought back from the dead.
Oh, come on. You know that's like a total Wolverine thing of like, I just wanted to be powerful.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have adamantium bones and...
No, I think that
skin.
was like some horrific accident.
Oh my god, no.
Or you
No.
were just
He's JJ. He has that big, but he's just has the little head and body.
The underdeveloped
He's JJ
body.
from Venture Brothers.
There you go.
That's what he is.
That would be it.
And for some reason, when he's detached from his body, his voice just gets so high like this. And even like Jock is just like, wait, James, what the fuck are you doing here?
Jeez.
I have 2 seats on the council. One for my body, and one for my real body.
No. Ironwood has 2 seats. One each for his giant balls.
No, it's obviously for his freakish head body.
Oh, well.
Well, I think that's a good note to end this podcast on, don't you think?
Yeah. How many episodes are left? 6?
Maybe. We're gonna have to look back at that.
Did we miss the true halfway point?
We probably did, but I mean, who's really
find out on the next podcast you shouldn't be listening to?
I was gonna say who's really keeping track, because definitely not the people watching this.
They really don't,
because they're nobody's.
It's really a hard time to kind of. Rooster Teeth really doesn't advertise when their seasons end.
I mean, that's because you can kind of you can tell by the show shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
There's no teaser at the end. It's like, next time on the finale of Dragon Ball RWBY.
That, and then after you've had, like, I don't know, 6 episodes that are 20 minutes long, then all of a sudden one's like an hour. You're like,
no. Austin, don't you see? You just have that hard cut. At the end of the episode, you just have Jean again. And there's like, next episode will be the final episode of the season. And just hard cut back to credits.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Any explanation now will just be a hard cut to John, and this scroll just like, Ren's boring. And then hard cut back to Ren.
I like this idea. Rooster Teeth, if you shouldn't...
Just the most obvious thing is just to use John.
There you go.
Yang is sad. That's it. He has to look at the camera, go back to his scroll.
People really are missing the visual here that they need. It's funny to us, but they're missing the visual that goes with the voice.
RWBY is annoying.
Imagine Zach, as you will, just holding up a pretend newspaper as he's saying these things. But you don't know what Zach looks like, because that's what podcasts are.
Imagine, like, a dog that needs to be put down, but you shave off all its hair first, and then you shoot it.
You don't shave it off. You shave it in patches.
And then you shoot it, and then you put it down, let it decay for a few years. That's kind of what I look like.
And it doesn't really poop. It just drops worms every now and then.
God damn, now you just made it. At first it was sad, now it's just gross.
That's what we were going with here.
Well, we won't see you on the next podcast no one will listen to, because you shouldn't be listening to us.
Someone will die.
Yay, it's finally over.